5 times in my life career so far, and I feel like I'm ready to win it.
I'm not used to being in the spotlight. Just gonna see what happens and live in the moment.
Let's go!
Poker players want to be in, alive, in the main event. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. Lon McCarron, Norman Chad, Kara Scott. We get right to the action. Andrew Moreno in a bad spot with ace-king suited, trying to take out the aces of Dax Green. Moreno, a 31-year-old San Diego pro, married to poker personality Christy Arnett, who's on the rail.
Andrew Moreno, distraught. By the way, this guy's given name is Dax, D-A-X, Dax Green. His middle name is Alden. Go figure.
Here's the flop, and 2 kings for Moreno. What a flop!
Wow, Dax Green should change his first and middle names to Bad Beat.
And you see Green with 1 out, the ace of clubs. Moreno can't believe what he just saw. Turn card is a 7.
28-year-old Boston pro stacking his chips to send to Moreno. Only the last ace in the deck would save Dax Green.
The river is at 8. Cue the celebration for Andrew Moreno and his crowd. Dax Green busts the main event holding pocket aces. What are you gonna do? That flop came just in time for Moreno.
Sorry, man.
All right, let's tour the room, check on some other notables. Sports bar owner Mark Kroon with nearly $3 million.
He was a day 3 chip leader here in 2013 and lost them all in a hurry, hoping for redemption in 2015.
Chad Power, the Maryland landlord of poker's House of Cards, has $3 million.
If he wins the main event, all of his roommates should be rent-free at the House of Cards for 1 year.
German-born Fedor Holtz, young, talented, and stacked.
I thought long and hard about how to say something bad about this kid, but I can't. He's likable, almost lovable, really.
Daniel Kid Poker Negreanu rounds out a loaded featured table.
Daniel's achieved almost everything in the poker world except a main event title. It feels like this could be his year.
We can do a no shuffle bet if you want.
A what?
A no shuffle bet.
No shuffle bet? Wow. You never shuffle?
I did that a few years ago. Me, Eric, and Phil Ivey.
Yeah.
Basically, it was 10K anytime they caught you shuffling chips. And Phil lost like 3 times. Because when Phil's in a pot, he just goes like this, and he's like...
Yeah, I mean, I would do it without thinking.
I was good. Kept my hands here.
Well, Daniel hasn't been too short, hasn't been too big. He's had a comfortable stack for most of the main event.
Power is intimidating to his left, but it's Holtz he has to worry about. Fedor is as tough as they come.
And Fedor is the big stack at this featured table, and he is the most aggressive as well.
Look at this kid. It feels like we were separated at birth. But when I was 21, I just finished my freshman year at Maryland with 14 outstanding parking tickets and a C+ average.
You see the current payout, almost $47,000. Players at the table talking about a prop bet involving riffling chips.
Do it for $100 a shuffle or something.
I'd probably just like sit like this.
Yeah, that's what he was doing, Eric.
Yeah,
sitting on his
sit
hands.
on your hands, yeah, definitely.
But even then, you get in a pot, and you're playing with chips, and all of a sudden you're like, how much is that?
No!
10K. How much is that? 10K.
Phil Ivey or Phil Locke? Or for homies?
Ivy.
Oh. Too many Phils.
Too many Phils, not enough Lons. I've been saying it for years.
Nobody raised before Fedor Holtz, so there's an open door for him to make it $65,000 with King Jack. Ace Queen for Sohail Khalili, 29-year-old Israeli pro.
Trying to figure out what to do with Ace Queen while he undergoes the Fedor Holtz. I'll stare at you until you buy me a drink treatment.
He comes along for $65K. And you may have noticed that the lavender chip is in play. Norman, let the games begin. San Francisco amateur Neil Blumenfield with King Queen.
A longtime software professional about to leave the software industry. I think he could model clothes.
I think he is modeling clothes. He will fold over to the button. Chris Horter, he folds now to the small blind. Sal DiCarlo.
DiCarlo could model Kansas City Chiefs gear.
In the small blind, DiCarlo folds to the big blind. Apeshka De Silva, one of the big stacks at the table. 6-5 of clubs. He goes by Pesh. Pesh calls.
You know, when you're looking for De Silva in a movie line, he's always easy to find.
All right, 3 to the flop. Here it is. 6, 10 deuce. The 6s are best for Pesh. He checks. The other 2 missed. Here's Holtz now. And he checks.
Check.
Okay, Healy checking that Holtz checked before he checks.
Let's see a turn card. 4 of hearts. De Silva now adds a gut shot.
And I think De Silva is done luxuriating in his green hoodie. Time to get busy.
He is aggressive. This bracelet winner bets 120,000.
And the thing about Holtz, and De Silva for that matter, they believe that every pot should be theirs. This is an easy fold. Holtz has no hand, no draw, but since it was a checked flop, Holtz might believe De Silva's trying to steal the pot, so Federer might try to steal it with a raise here.
And he's got the look of someone who knows what you're doing and why you're doing it. It's very disconcerting to play against. And look at this, Norman. Green chips coming into play.
Well, he's 21 years old. Shouldn't he move faster?
That is a raise, bluffing at it. 315,000 is the price. Khalili folds, now back to De Silva.
De Silva's hand is disguised here like Miley Cyrus's singing talent. No way he's folding this. Plus, he knows that Federer knows that he might have been bluffing.
315.
No problem putting 195,000 more in.
Holtz doesn't seem concerned. One more street to bluff.
All right, 9 of hearts misses both. So the pair of 6s of that man, Pesh De Silva, are best. And he checks. And Holtz gives up.
6.
Third pair? That probably has me crushed.
So De Silva will win that showdown, taking chips from Federer Holtz.
That's how you got all those chips, huh? Raise, they fold. Oh, man.
Not all the time.
He got them when he raised them, they called, actually. I know.
Oh, you
I
were
know
there?
personally.
It seems that every year we hear about the new age of poker, kids with fresh ideas, different styles, unorthodox betting patterns. Well, Federer Holtz certainly fits that mold, Norman. An internet legend before he turned 21, now trying to wreak havoc at this main event. How do those of us in the older generation keep up with these, what's that term you like, whippersnappers?
Yeah, and this Federer Holtz has a lot of snap in his whip. To him, every hand is playable, every raise is in bounds, every pot can be won. So what can we do? We out-whippersnap them. We wear better hoodies. We take even more time before every decision. We create a language they can't understand. We simply beat them at their own game. I still think they crush us.
Just when we learn their game, they come up with something new. Max Steinberg leading the main event with just over 100 players remaining. Let's get to an outer table. The anti-whippersnapper, 72-year-old Pierre Neuville of Belgium has a baby flush with the board complete. Nick DeBella sits with third pair and dwindling chips, and he's all in.
All in.
Neuville, 72-year-old retired toy executive with quite a poker resume. DeVella, 27-year-old Las Vegas pro.
455.
Neuville had over $2 million to begin this hand, and he will make the call.
Need to see both hands, please.
And with the baby flush, he will take it and knock out Nick DeVella.
Tough to bluff the old guys, son. You said it, he's the anti-whippersnapper.
DeVella knew his only chance was to shove, but he got called. He's out, and Neuville will now need some time to clean up that win. So let's go to Phil Hellmuth's buddy Mark Kroon, who called a 10 big blind all-in with ace-5 and flop top pair against Sterling Seville.
Give my heart. Give my heart.
Kroon has fully rehearsed his rant per Phil Hellmuth's instructions if there is a bad beat.
Seville with a Broadway draw. 7 of diamonds is no help.
I know Seville's at risk, but what's with that tank top?
Seville looking for a jack on the river. The queen won't do it, so Sterling Seville, whose name I will steal for my next detective novel, out in 108th.
Seville's second main event cash in 3 tries.
Mark Kroon making the weak ace sing. Nearby, we look at first-timer Luther Tran all in with second pair and a gut shot, hoping to run down Tony Tran holding top pair.
Nuts, baby, come on.
Wow.
What nuts?
One card to come.
Oh, I misread my hand. Oh, no.
I can't believe he misread his hand.
Oh my God. He misread his head. No, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. He misread his head.
You see his outs. Luther said he thought he turned a straight.
I didn't misread it. I was just playing it.
Yo, I love it. Damn, man. Bad for you, Luther.
I know.
What do we need, Luke?
Queen or a 10. Let's go.
Queen, 10, or 9.
It's a 7. Luther Trent comes up short, out in 106th.
Tony Tran, another first-timer, 27-year-old real estate professional.
So, Luther Tran, a first-timer gone, nearly doubling his career poker earnings. All right, let's head over to another table. Andrew Moreno once again. He's hanging in thanks to a big flop with ace-king. He told us what a win here at the main event would mean to him.
$7.5 million would be, it would be a new life for me. You know, I've been in poker for about 12, 13 years, and it would probably start a different venture with my wife and my family. We're really into like fitness, and we really have an idea for something we want to do in the fitness world. So it would be a fun new chapter, that's for sure.
Moreno on the button here with 10-7 of hearts, facing a raise from Mark Kroon, who would raise with 2 dry cleaning slips, I think. Moreno calls.
Kroon raised with nothing and got called by nothing. His reputation precedes him.
Small blind folds. Big blind gets out of the way. We are heads up.
Kroon is so much fun to watch play.
All right, here is the flop now. Moreno with top 2. Kroon with bottom pair. Mark doesn't need much to hit the gas. Bets 95,000.
Well, Moreno almost certain top 2 is best here. But he might just call here and let Kroon, as one of his buddies says, just try to bust himself.
Everyone here knows how active Kroon has been. They've seen some of his bluffs. You just never know when he has it. Moreno with the raise to 225 here. Mark Kroon will make that call.
Kroon comes along. Not good for Team Helmuth.
All right, turn card now. Kroon in trouble. Is another 7-7s full for Moreno. Kroon drawing dead, and he checks.
Moreno in the catbird seat.
Now trying to figure out how much he can get from Mark Kroon. Christy Arnett, his wife, looking on carefully.
Well, Moreno can only win the $7.5 million he talked about if he actually puts out a bet. Otherwise, we'll all just die here on day 5 of the main event.
There it is. He puts Moreno all in.
Oops.
Yep. Moreno would be at risk, but not really. He turns it over, and he will double up.
Are we going to see a river card? Well, what does Kroon need? What does Mark Kroon need?
Mark Kroon needs an ocean card. Christy Arnett enjoying the turn of events. Moreno with the double up through the ambitious Mark Kroon. For Moreno, his stack soars above $3 million. The 2015 World Series of Poker is presented by DraftKings. Play weekly fantasy football for free and win huge cash prizes. Get to DraftKings.com now. And in part by WSOP Social, the #1 play for fun poker game. Free download for your mobile device, tablet, or PC at PlayWSOP.com. A city for all ages, shapes, and sizes, but the main event continues to trend younger. Here's Kara Scott with more on part of that youth movement.
The youngest player still in the field at just 21. Fedor Holtz is already a veteran of the game. He has over $1.5 million in live tournament winnings, including a final table this summer in the 6-handed No Limit Hold'em Championship event. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Online, he is a phenom. He won the World Cup of Online Poker last year for $1.3 million and added that to the 7-figure sum he'd already won online. So a main event bracelet would not be unexpected for this player.
Holtz finished 3rd at the Harry Potter auditions. That paid nothing, so he turned to poker.
All right, back to this nasty lineup of poker talent. Sal DiCarlo in middle position, 9-7 of diamonds. The short stack now needs to make something happen. He raises to 65,000. Around to Chad Power in the small blind with ace-10 off. Chad, the biggest stack at this featured table, gives up the ace-10.
Started with like 600, 7.
I hate when they ask how many chips you have before they even look at their cards. I understand that online that information is right in front of them, so they want it. Real life's not that easy, you punks.
Fedor Holtz just a few thousand behind Power on the power rankings of this table. Makes the call. We're heads up. Short stack against a big stack. The flop, 4 king 6 2 diamonds. Uh-oh. Nut flush draw, middle pair for Holtz. He checks. A useless flush draw for DiCarlo.
Oh, Holtz is hoping for the check raise. Tread lightly, Sal. This kid is directing a horror film, and you're the innocent victim.
80,000 from Sal.
Holtz had a job at a department store for a day, but didn't like it too much. Why? Because he couldn't check raise customers.
Fedor Holtz now reaching for chips, and that's the young'un we know. After a call and a check, I was beginning to wonder. Check raised to 185.
Please run home, Sal. Don't open up that next door. It's a raging inferno in there.
The veil is still up. That means he's still in the hand. Sal with the worst of the two flush draws.
All in.
Oh, he says all in.
Call.
And a quick call from Holtz.
Pair versus, oh my goodness, what a board.
DeCarlo pushed with 17 big blinds left, and Holtz has him hurting big time.
DeCarlo had taken 4.5 days to build his chip stack, but in a short series of hands here on day 5, well, they might all be whisked away. Here is the turn, 10 of spades. DeCarlo with a gut shot.
Now he needs a black 7, 8, or 9.
It's the moment to start running good in all-ins.
The river card, a diamond. DeCarlo's fall is complete. Flush over flush.
The 33-year-old Las Vegas pro with his 9th World Series cash.
His first main event cash worth almost $47,000.
Good game. Nice shot. Good game.
Game, bro.
Good game, man.
He was quite the
Good luck.
figure here at this feature table.
Hey, good game, man. You played
Good game,
great.
boss. Good luck, man.
Fedor Holtz now with nearly $3.7 million.
Baby-faced beast.
Where are you from?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh?
What about you? Texas? Not Texas?
No?
No, Germany.
Rest if he was from Texas?
What?
Texas?
A little bit of that Texas twang.
I've never heard German confused for Texas.
Just jokes.
Yeah,
Just
on it,
jokes.
bitter beer having. Yep.
You fooled me.
No, I'm just kidding. I know you're German.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is weird. I was like,
I'm Fedor from Texas.
Sometimes he's got the nuts, sometimes he's bluffing, but Fedor always knows what he's doing when he has cards in front of him.
my biggest strength on the table is reads on people and just like picking up the vibe of what they're up to do and like how they feel, if they're rather bluffing or having a big hand and these kind of things. I'd say I was very psychological, then got very mathematical because of my online background, and then got very psychological again, playing more and more live poker. That's kind of the transition I've made. I think I play great right now. I'm really confident in what I do. And I guess that's the key for me. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But right now, as I'm playing, as I still have chips, I think I'm gonna win.
When you listen to him talk, it doesn't come off as arrogance, rather just a very casual confidence.
All right, we'll keep it here at this now seven-handed feature table. Daniel Negreanu with ace-9. Daniel will raise it up to 65,000. Power with pocket tens.
Power's Maryland roommate, Chris Brand, also still alive here late on day 5.
That is a fun story. He's just calling, inviting others into the pot. Holtz rarely needs an invitation, though. Jack 8.
On the button with raggedy cards and rebellious thoughts.
The ever-aggressive pro. And sometimes when you're a young'un, you just like to try to play against the best in the business just to test yourself.
You know, if he added protein to his diet, I think he'd move quicker.
Now, there is something very theatrical about his actions. He does seize the moment when it's his turn, and there is a re-raise to 170,000. That was worth waiting for. Neil Blumenfield now.
Like that look.
Big blind, folds. Back to Negreanu. He gets out of the way. Power with the pocket tens. There's the call.
So Daniel steps to the side, and Chad Power, understandably, does not.
All right, heads up. And a stare from Fedor. Here's the flop, and Power flops a monster tens full. And he checks it over to Holtz.
Holtz with a less than 1% hand right now. which means there's a chance he can still win this pot.
Chad knows that this is a leak of some aggressive players. Just give them enough rope and they'll hand you their chips. And it is Fedor reaching for chips. I guess he's not feeling the vibe of Chad Power right now. He bets 165,000. Chad says, "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?"
Power strikes me as a guy who uses the cruise control button in his car.
No doubt. 4 of diamonds, and Holtz now drawing dead. Power checks again.
If this were a speed dating event, there definitely would be a shot clock on Fedor. Very deliberate.
He's trying.
Bet in progress.
And I think I saw just a hint of a tiniest smile on Chad Power's face when Fedor reached for chips. There is a bet of 420.
Well, here's the thing about Fedor's bet sizing here. If he had bet any more, he'd lose more. If he had bet any less, he'd lose less.
Now, talk about being theatrical here.
Well, just theatrical. Look at these guys' hands. They're 4 hands right now. It's like performance art.
I think they've stopped breathing. Chad Power. Is this a moment for a raise? Nope, just a call.
Hey, this Holtz fella swings for the fences. Sometimes he hits homers, and sometimes he strikes out.
River card now, and that pairs Holtz, but also puts a 3rd diamond on the board.
Power looking for a way to get more chips out of Holtz. He might check again.
That has been his pattern, and Fedor knows that. There is the check.
Will Holtz bet again?
No, he checks. And 10's full might be good here. Holtz mucks his hand, and he'll stack the chips.
Bad river for you. For you, I mean.
Yeah.
It's hard for him to put you at jacks now in the jack hit.
But what am I going to do?
Oh, you did it right. You're supposed to do.
It's deuce one time.
Yeah, that was a bad river for you. You might have had to go for it one more time.
Yeah, we want them to.
Looked like you had maybe, Jack. You wouldn't? You were done? He was done. Quit. 405, you get that? That's enough.
What'd you have? What'd you have?
Not a full house, I'll bet.
The ride to the Rio is easy, but the ride to the main event final table is always full of twists and turns. One player who has had his share of ups and downs is Wisconsin's Mark Kroon. He knows his way around a poker table, but now he has expert GPS.
When I first started playing poker, we used to play in this little backroom bar. There used to be this guy in there who was really loud, and he used to win every single Saturday, and he used to drive everybody nuts.
I was playing in his mother's bar. I was playing poker in 1990.
And every single Saturday, he'd walk out, and everybody always just wanted, just beat him up.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've matured a lot.
One day, I was just sitting there, and I was watching ESPN, and I go, that's the guy that used to beat me every single Saturday.
And the next thing you know, it's like 1993, 94, and he's won a limit hold'em tournament out here. And I'm like, I didn't even know you played.
Now I'm better than him, and he's a little jealous.
And when I got eliminated, we worked out a deal for me to coach him.
How would you like to have Tiger Woods on your bag and, going down the 18th hole?
People see me coaching and talking to him, and then there's an intimidation factor. It's like they're playing me a little bit.
I can't thank him enough, and I don't think there's a player in the world that wouldn't want him there.
I love coaching. It is fun, and it's more fun to do it during the main event.
He's helping me a lot.
I think that Mark has a great chance to go deep.
He may go deep, but Helmuth occasionally has been playing online poker on his smartphone today while coaching Mark. Really? You think Bear Bryant was playing Mahjong while coaching Joe Namath?
Kroon in the cutoff position with King 9 offsuit. He's down to about $1.7 million now in a race to 65,000.
What is with that tank top?
That is Nick Augustino. I'm thinking he lost a prop bet. 7-6 of spades. He folds over to Marino now. Off his recent double-up ace-4. He folds.
Marino, a proud graduate of the Norman Chad School of Poker Advanced Seminar on the weak ace in the small blind.
Nick Everisk in a big blind, 10 tray of spades, 30-year-old Canadian software programmer.
For the record, I already put you on Jack 9.
Everisk has a master's degree in computer science with a specialization in artificial intelligence, but I don't know if that covers Mark Kroon.
He'll need a few extra letters after his name to do that. Abarisk with a call of 35,000 more.
And look, Mr. Kroon already assembling chips for his bluff on the flop.
Here is the flop. Abarisk ahead now with middle pair. Kroon with a gut shot. Abarisk checked.
Kroon's comfort zone is a hand in the 10 to 33% range. He doesn't even mind drawing dead.
80,000 from each, and we will see a turn card. That card is the deuce of clubs. That changes nothing.
Doesn't change anything, anytime, anywhere.
Check, check. Free river card. It is a queen, and Kroon makes his hand with a king-high straight. Abarisk checks it. Kroon now. Got to bet it. 205.
This is a good card for me.
I mean, it's a good card for me if it's a bad one for you.
There's something about Kroon's air. People always want to beat him in a pot.
I'll do a cartwheel naked if you catch me bluffing.
You still owe me one.
That's binding.
That's binding?
Just naked cartwheel.
Heel her. Heel her. Come on.
Abarisk folds. There's the rail.
Kroon, cartwheel, naked. 3 words I never want to hear again in the same sentence.
Mark Kroon now approaching 1.9 million on the way back up. He's got the image, he's got the coach. Maybe this is Mark Kroon's year to go from bar owner to main event champ. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. At the featured table from San Francisco, 61-year-old Neil Blumenfield, steeped in Silicon Valley culture.
Is that an iWatch you got?
It is.
You like it?
I do. It's actually good for being at the table because I can't look at my phone.
Yeah,
I can look at this.
Right here. And, yeah, my buddy got one. He says he really likes it, but at first I thought, what's the point?
I'm just checking the time.
Well, the bloom of electronic gadgets at a poker table is becoming an issue they may have to deal with in the future. Blumenfield with pocket aces. And he's going to raise it up to 65,000.
When the older guys raise, they always have aces.
In the small blind, Mike Veneer taking DeCarlo's seat. 35-year-old Nebraska pro folds. Pesh De Silva now, king 6 offsuit in the big blind.
De Silva graduated from the University of Houston with a degree in history. I believe he studied the history of loose aggressive play at the poker table.
Yeah, he didn't build that chip stack by holding big pocket pairs for 5 days. It takes moxie, and he's going to come along. All right, here is the flop. 9 tray queen, and that is a big blind miss. De Silva checks to the aces. Blumenfield, 85,000. Pesh not folding.
How much do you start with?
Right around 2.
De Silva also deliberate in his destructive ways.
Blumenfield happy to answer that question, holding the aces. There's a check raise to 200,000 from Pesh.
I mean, you politely answer the fellow's question on how much you started with, and then he check raises you. It's an unruly, unholy, uncouth new world out there.
Boy, raised some eyebrows with that check raise as well.
Blumenfield might put De Silva on a draw, maybe a combo draw. Of course, he has nothing.
Just a call from Neil.
Pesh doing what you're not supposed to do, bluff the old guy.
4 of spades on the turn. De Silva now drawing dead.
De Silva does not have a hand. He doesn't even have a left hand.
De Silva checks again.
Does Blumenfield feel like potentially getting check raised again?
Well, the man with the aces now betting 250,000.
This is the beauty of poker. Tell me, under what other circumstances would these two ever interact in the real world?
Right? And they're both richer for it. Literally and figuratively. Pesh will finally fold. He took his shot. Says next hand. Blumenfield stands up to the pressure.
Hold down the applause.
The old guy in the sharp threads drags the pot.
An outfit, no doubt, influenced by his girlfriend Pascal, who owns a French clothing store in San Francisco. Nearby, two gentlemen in their poker primes. After the turn, Justin Bonomo with only the nut flush draw. Max Steinberg holds pocket kings, and he'd be happy to end the hand right here.
Two former whippersnappers whipping and snapping against each other. Actually, neither is 30 yet. When you turn 30, you officially are over the whippersnapper hill.
Bonomo calls the 725,000 chip bet. They will see a river card. Nine of diamonds misses Bonomo. He checks.
Steinberg pretty certain he's got the best hand, wants to get some value here.
Both of these players starting the hand with nearly 4 million chips.
Max is 27. He's been sitting that way since he was 7.
He says all in. He's got Bonomo covered, but just barely. But how can Justin make this call?
Not an immediate fold from Justin Bonomo.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's thinking that Max is trying to protect his own ace-high hand.
Bonomo beflummoxed. I don't know what Max Steinberg stands accused of, but he looks guilty.
This would be for all of Bonomo's chips. Is this how he wants to go out of the main event? No, he says.
Well, as it turns out, Steinberg might have gotten a call there with a smaller river bet. Bonomo half convinced Max maybe missed a draw and his ace-king was good.
A correct fold, but Justin's not convinced. Max now with almost 5.5 million chips.
That's just not the best shirt for chip stacking.
All right, so Steinberg moving forward. At the featured table, not so for the Sri Lankan native Pesh De Silva, who has lost ground on this day 5, but he knows how to play deep in tournaments.
De Silva, born and raised in Sri Lanka, moved to America when his dad got a job with the U.S. Agency for International Development.
Action is on Pesh, 8-6 offsuit, not afraid to play the randomness of the deal. A raise to 60,000. He's been in the U.S., as you mentioned, Norman, for some time. His girlfriend is Sri Lankan, though she came to the U.S. in 2014. In the big blind is Marco van op Zeeland with Jack-9 of spades, and he's going to come along for 30K more.
He was knocked out of last year's main event, 50 from the money by Phil Ivey. Can't believe Ivey ran that deep.
Here is the flop. Queen 10-10. Van op Zeeland is open-ended. De Silva missed.
Good flop to bet at for Van op Zeeland.
But he does check to the razor.
Not necessarily a good flop for De Silva to bet at.
But looks like he will bet. He bets the paired board, 55,000.
No, of course he bets. Backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, backdoor 8-high draw.
Marco, the amateur, has to know that when you enter a hand at the main event, you will be tested no matter your holdings. His jack-high is best. He calls. Tray of hearts on the turn. Third heart out there. And Van op Zeeland checks again. And now, Pesh.
8-high.
155,000.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. Pesh loves to apply it. It's so uncomfortable if you're on the receiving end.
And Van op Zeeland does fold. Pesh trying to climb back to his day 5 starting stack, now with 2.5 million.
Van op Zeeland played that one passively throughout and paid the price.
And he knows every chip he commits from this point on better come back with interest or else. When you think you can win every pot, sometimes you do. Pesh keeps the pressure on and adds to his confident nature and his chip stack. Back in Las Vegas, we are under 100 players at the 2015 main event. The final 9 make it to November. The champion winning almost 7.7 million. One title that doesn't have quite the prestige or dollar value to it is the Side Action Championship. After 3 events, Maria Ho leads, but everyone knows it's not over till it's over.
Welcome back to the Side Action Championship. Tonight's event is chip stacking. 100 chips will be in a plastic bag in front of each player. Players must dump the bag and stack the chips in stacks of 20. There are 3 different colors. Fastest player wins.
He does the best bag. It's easier to separate.
It's handicapped like a horse race.
Handicapped it like a horse race. I agree with that.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
God damn, can't even get on my...
Maria uses the standing up style. So does Phil Locke. 2 are standing, 2 are sitting. Helmuth off to a slow start. Would you drop out of chip stacking junior college, brat?
I
Come
won
on.
this last year.
Well, last year was last year. This year is this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, concentrate.
Done, boys. Done. That's a win.
Well, we got to make sure. I think there's a chip missing somewhere. Isn't there?
I'm done, but I have uneven stacks, by the way.
Uneven stacks are not
I'm
good.
done. I'm done.
I can't be done because I don't have correct...
No, you have a black and your green.
You have a black and your green, that's why.
Me too. Oh my
I'm done.
God.
I
Two, oh my what?
No.
I'm done.
I beat Phil
No,
up,
then I
though.
finished first.
I beat you at least.
I
Phil.
finished first.
Believe it or not, well, you were off. You were off. The person who was first in, who wasn't off, was Maria Ho.
Wow.
And JRB finished second.
I finished third at least. I corrected before he did.
Not corrected. Look at this. See this? Missing a chip.
Yeah.
Where's your other chip?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's
right there. Ah! I beat him. I beat Helmuth. I beat Helmuth.
Yeah.
I beat Helmuth.
Oh,
I
my
beat him.
goodness.
That's a shame.
Damn it.
Maria Ho is lapping the boys in the band. Her third win in 4 events at this Side Action Championship.
Look at JRB. How could you not win this?
Maria was the last woman standing in the 07 and 2014 main events. Kelly Minkin trying to accomplish that and more. All in with queens called by Gatis Cortes's Pocket Jacks.
Cortes, a 29-year-old Lebanese-born Swedish amateur.
There's the flop. Pocket queen still good for Minkin in her double-up quest.
The attorney in the process of prosecuting another victim.
The turn card is a queen. Queen's full. The double-up is official. Cortes drawing dead. Cortes hit Broadway on the river, but no good. A double up for Kelly Minkin through Cortes.
Minkin, 28 years old, University of Arizona grad.
Can't rest on her laurels. 28 big blinds is an improvement, but won't last long in this environment. All right, let's get back to Mark Kroon holding rags again and a rematch with Nick Aberisk, whose pocket sevens are best after a king high flop. Kroon testing him with a bet of $190,000.
Kroon in a familiar spot trying to bluff an innocent man.
Aberisk with the sevens. They are best, and he's going to at least make one call.
Well, how many times has Mark Kroon watched someone call his bluff? I guess it's like asking, how many Big Macs has McDonald's sold?
Here's the turn card. Tray of clubs, another undercard to the pocket sevens of Aberisk.
Kroon's t-shirt says, what would Phil do? Aberisk's t-shirt says, I would call Mark Kroon with queen high.
Action on Kroon.
He's a serial bluffer, a pathological bluffer, a bluffaholic.
To quote Wall Street, past performance is an indication of future actions for Kroon. And there is another bluff, $355,000.
You know, but like Pesh de Silva, Kroon puts a lot of pressure on you a lot of the time. He puts opponents to tough decisions.
And what makes this tougher for Aberisk is that if he calls this, the next bet might be for all his chips.
Indeed, this is for 1/3 of his stack. Look at Kroon. He loves it. This would be for 1/3 of his remaining stack right here, and the prospect of a big bet on the river with just a single pair.
And the sevens go into the muck. Kroon gets the applause and the pot.
Show a 7 if you have a 7, but if you don't have a 7, don't show it.
He shows. That's why people love beating Mark Kroon.
That's what I'm talking about. Step on it. Raise every hand, and every time these kids 3-bet, you 4-bet them.
Wow, Helmuth coaches differently than he plays. He certainly doesn't practice what he allegedly preaches.
You know, coaches in tennis and golf can't come out onto the playing field, but I guess they can here.
Ho, they've been bluffing you every hand, Ho. Time to step it up.
Phil Hellmuth very proud of his student. What he told him in that hand, we're not quite sure, but we're never quite sure with Phil. To day 5 of the World Series of Poker main event. At our feature table is Neil Blumenfield, a 61-year-old from San Francisco. To some, he's the guy in the hat, and there's a reason for that.
I get a lot of compliments on the glasses and the hats. It's part of having fun with the game. You know, you can't take yourself too seriously. I think a lot of people, especially at this level, are so, I don't know, laser focused on the end game that they forget about how much fun it is to actually play the game. And that's a really important part of it to me. My friends are mostly poker friends. I enjoy pretty much everybody I sit at the poker table with.
Blumenfield's poker friends at this table are pretty much all half his age.
Big blinds at this table ranging from 17 up to 131. Pesh de Silva, 10-8 of hearts under the gun. Loves to be active and push out marginal hands. Raises to 60,000. Not unlike this guy, Fedor Holtz, Jack 10 of diamonds.
Holtz scheduled to have his left hand surgically removed from his right shoulder after the main event is over. It's an elective procedure.
Well, a couple of guys with very similar styles. Holtz just calls. Zalen folds on the button. Neil Blumenfield.
Blumenfield's look is part international espionage, part Studio 54 disco dancer extraordinaire.
King Jack of clubs. He's entered the main event the last 5 years. This is his finest hour. He came 285th in 2012.
If he were a nicer neighbor, he would lend Von Zeeland his hat for a little while.
And there is a call. And now Chris Horder, suited Jack, into the muck. He remains a spectator in the big blind. Mike Veneer, ace-8 offsuit.
He cashed the 08 main event. I wouldn't come into a pot with two mad scientists and Mr. Double Agent Intrigue.
35-year-old pro makes a call. Ace high is best. 4 will see this flop. 5 Jack 7 Veneer, the only whiff. A gut shot for De Silva. Top pair bad kicker for Holtz. The best hand belongs to Blumenfield. De Silva checks.
I think Holtz is more comfortable when he doesn't have a hand.
Yeah, it's no secret Fedor likes to bet, hit or miss. So how does one play against a guy like this? Is he telling the truth? Is he bluffing? You sit with a guy long enough, you hope to pick up some clues. A bet of 120,000. Now Blumenfield with that best hand, the jacks with a king kicker.
Blumenfield's played with Holtz a good deal day 5, knows that his range here is infinite. Blumenfield, 40 years older than Holtz. It's like Negreanu playing with a newborn, but this newborn can bluff.
Blumenfield started the hand with just over 2 million. And he will make that call. Mike Veneer folds. And now De Silva.
De Silva just with a gut shot and a burning desire to blast away at every pot from every angle.
When he looks at that man, he sees a mirror. When he looks at Blumenfield, maybe just an experienced amateur. And now, University of Houston graduate, World Series bracelet winner has raising chips. Indeed, 400,000 with the draw.
The closest De Silva will ever get to my home game is if he's delivering a pizza. Holtz and De Silva eventually are going to have to sign a nuclear disarmament pact.
With the second best jack, there's a call from Holtz.
Okay, you're a 61-year-old Silicon Valley veteran caught between Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan. Do you 3-bet it here, or you just go home and work for another software startup? I'd get out of Dodge. He is so rarely ahead in this spot.
Gut check time for Neil. But indeed, he is ahead in this spot. And he does make the call.
That's a heck of a call.
All right. 3-way action.
Got ourselves a little pot here.
They've churned up almost $1.5 million in the middle. Tray of spades. No help to those in need. De Silva will lead off again. He checks again.
De Silva wouldn't mind a free one unless he's looking to check raise.
Fedor. Not sure who to focus on right now.
Well, Fedor wouldn't mind a free one unless he's looking to check raise. And that leaves us with one cool cat against the two white-hot whippersnappers.
And it looks like it's going to be Blumenfield keeping the heat on. 350,000. That's a small bet into that pot.
Well, looks like Pesh is going to say uncle.
He does fold. Now it's down to Fedor and the fedora.
And Holtz looks at Blumenfield as if to say, you have upset the balance of the swirling vortex of my poker universe. You must pay.
Fedor with almost twice the stack of Blumenfield. And he's going to make the call with the bad kicker.
Well, maybe the river will bring the swirling vortex.
Queen of spades, third spade hits the board. Now it's Holtz, and they go check, check. Blumenfield will take that pot of almost 2.2 million. Holtz gets pipped by the old guy.
Blumenfield fights off the 20-something brigade.
What a hand, increasing his stack by almost 70%. Blumenfield now up to almost 3.4 million.
Wasn't excited about the spade or the queen.
Don't be fooled by the Hatter glasses. This Neil Blumenfield can play. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. If you do not follow the poker world closely, you may not know that Daniel Negreanu has undergone a transformation of sorts over the last few years. He attributes a fresh mindset to much of his recent poker success.
So I'm a big believer in clear intention. So I speak it out. I write it out. I put it on Twitter. You know, my intention to end day 5 is to have 5 million in chips. Now, if I end up with 3 million, will I be disappointed? I'm not attached, but I'm clear on what am I waking up this morning to accomplish. Ultimately, it's to win the tournament, and then I set some like daily ideas in terms of what does today need to look like, or what do I want it to look like.
His intention is to end day 5 of the main event with 5 million chips. My intention is to end day 5 of my marriage still married.
Daniel starts his hand with $1.5 million. De Silva in the small blind with $2.8 million and ace-7 offsuit. A raise to 65,000. Daniel's going to come along. All right, heads up. Here is the flop. Trey, queen, jack, 2 hearts. Top pair for Negreanu.
I don't know De Silva that well, and I'm already conditioned to expect him to bet all flops.
Isn't that true? De Silva, though, checks against the 6-time bracelet winner. Daniel checks back. 10 of hearts, 3rd heart. De Silva with flush and Broadway draws.
De Silva originally planned to become a lawyer, decided it was easier to take people's money playing poker.
And he checks again. So Daniel's going to bet. I imagine his hand's a little disguised after checking top pair on the flop. 85,000, and De Silva calls.
No way De Silva was going to fold flush and straight draws.
Nope, and that is not one of the outs he was looking for. Negreanu is best with the queens. Another check from De Silva. Negreanu.
205.
The reason I wouldn't bet 205 is because it opens the door for De Silva to make it 605, though I can't imagine what he'd be representing. Daniel seems comfortable he's made the right decision.
And now Pesh wondering if his ace high is good.
Really? I don't know what he's wondering about right now. I mean, usually you don't raise when you wait this long. What could he put Daniel on that he's thinking of calling with ace high?
You have king 9?
King 9? King 5 beats you. King 3 beats you. Ace 9 beats you. The Rio parking valet beats you.
Chip's not an issue. Pesh has Negreanu covered by about $1.3 million. It's just, what does Daniel have? He wants to find out.
You just have a queen.
He got the call.
Queen's good.
Queen is good.
You said king 9. Do I need it? Oh, no. 205.
Pesh De Silva down below $2.5 million now.
Oh, that was 225.
205.
Wow, Daniel, 1 pair, weak kicker, and he gets good value from it. Very nice.
Daniel a step forward towards realizing his intention of 5 million chips today. Though Daniel has had a lot of recent success, it's his body of work that really tells the story. 6 bracelets, all-time money leader, Hall of Fame, every box checked, except main event champion.
He's not even halfway through his poker career, and he's already 4th all-time in World Series cashes, tied for 10th in final tables, and tied for 9th in bracelets.
We'll keep it here. Daniel 10-8 of hearts. He told me during the main event that these players at the table have to adapt to me with my experience and my accolades. Raised to 65,000. Holtz with ace deuce off.
Okay, if Daniel's kid poker, then Fedor is what? Toddler poker?
He makes the call. The button Negreanu and the big blind Holtz. We'll see a flop. 10-4 deuce. Bottom pair for Holtz, who would check dark. Top pair for Negreanu.
Holtz checked in the dark. What is Helmuth also coaching him?
90,000, about half the pot from Daniel.
Well, chances are that flop missed Negreanu, so I've got to believe Holtz likes his bottom pair.
Some people might see this as the new and old of poker, but Daniel continually adapting his game, and he's new poker as well. Holtz makes the call.
So middle-aged dogs can be taught new tricks.
That is right. King of Diamonds misses both on the turn. Holtz checks again.
Now, Daniel very comfortable here with his pair of tens.
Over half the pot, 210,000.
Holtz's watch doesn't tell the time of day. It tells what time he will destroy the world.
He calls for 210,000. River card, another king. Well, Negreanu is best here. Another check.
Okay, check. Can't see your hand. Oh.
Daniel will take it down with a better two pair.
When you turn it over, like I couldn't see it.
Holtz handles everything well. Nothing bothers him.
When you turn it over, you look like you won. I couldn't see either card.
I felt like I won.
Yeah, right? When I checked. Yeah. I don't bet my friends in the river, you know?
Good strategy.
Yeah.
Ms. Rocky flops Trip Queens. All right, the turn card. Oh, and there's the nine. Nine's full for Jarvis.
What a turn of events!
Such a world, such a final table sweat. Small card.
It's an ace.
Oh, mama!
No way.
It's not possible, is it?
And the roller coaster ride comes to an end for Jarvis. Hard to believe that was 5 years ago. Matt Jarvis looking for another final table here in 2015.
And he did follow up the main event final table in 2010 with a bracelet in 2011 in the 5K No Limit Hold'em 6 Max.
Also got married and probably lowered his golf index. Pesh de Silva opened raise to 80,000 with King 10 offsuit. Jarvis here with Ace King of Hearts. Premium Tier 1 hand, though still a drawing hand, re-raises to 205.
Jarvis recently bought 2 trailer parks in Indiana, the first November Niner ever to venture into the rough and tumble trailer park business.
The blinds are up here in the main event, 20 and 40,000 with a 5K ante. Neil Blumenfield in the small blind gives way. And the big blind, Chris Horder, says his hobby is pretending to be busy, but not so busy at this featured table. Back to De Silva now.
De Silva won his first bracelet this year. When the summer began, he actually predicted to friends he would win 2 bracelets in 2015.
And Norman, look, Jarvis has on the sunglasses from 2010. He stopped wearing them for a few years, but he says being a bit superstitious, he wanted them back for this main event, and they're working. De Silva with a re-raise to 550 here, a 4-bet.
I'll give De Silva credit. King 10 off, doesn't play well against anything other than a fold. So he's trying to get a fold. He's not going to get a fold out of Jarvis. The best thing about the trailer park business, though, Lon, is you seldom get 4-bet.
Is it me, or does Fedor look like he wants to eat Matt Jarvis? And now Jarvis with those lovely lavender chips.
But at the pace that these two play, Jarvis's trailer park lots might be converted to condos by the time this hand is over.
All right, finally we have a call and a big pot and a flop of Jack Ace 8. Jarvis catches the ace and flopped the nut flush draw. Broadway draw for De Silva.
Well, I love that Jarvis didn't go crazy with Ace King before the flop. I like that a lot. I have no doubt, or little doubt, that De Silva will stab at this with his Broadway draw. Monster flop for Jarvis. If he gets enough of these flops, he can buy 2 more trailer parks.
So De Silva now. And by the way, these two have about even chip stacks. De Silva with about 2.7, Jarvis 2.5. There's 355 from De Silva.
And now Matt Jarvis can go crazy with Ace King if he wants.
And Jarvis, as you see, the heavy favorite here, dominating De Silva. And that is just a call.
And we will have a turn, Lon, before midnight.
Turn card now. Deuce of hearts, and Jarvis scores the nut flush. De Silva might as well have put up the white flag.
Well, I like the way Jarvis has played this hand, letting De Silva carry the action, but that heart might kill the action. Tough for De Silva to call a bet here, though he is capable of check raising.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Of course.
So Jarvis now with a pot of 1.9 million.
You know, it's possible the chips are heavier than they were back in 2010, so Matt might want to hire someone to help him put out a bet.
580,000.
Pesh, considering his options, this is not a good time to pretend to have what the other guy has.
Yep, he has given up, and what a nice series of events for Matt Jarvis from the get-go. The glasses are back. Jarvis is back.
Crowd goes wild.
It didn't have the drama of his all-in against Michael Mizrachi, but he'll take this one over that one. Jarvis in familiar territory, climbing up the leaderboard. You're watching the 2015 World Series of Poker main event, day 5. And ladies and gentlemen, round 3, Kroon versus Abarisk. Mark Kroon limp with pocket trays. Nick Abarisk raised with ace-king on the button. Mark now. And what are the odds a little raise like that's going to scare him off?
With pocket threes, he's going to play them like they're quad kings. It's a huge hand for him.
Twice we've seen Kroon bet and Nick fold.
Allow me the wheel, dealer.
Here is the flop. Kroon's hand still best. He checks.
9 jacks.
They both check. Turn card. Pocket trays still best. Mark puts out 35,000.
Stop the presses. Mark Kroon bets with the best hand. But it's a crazy small bet. 35,000 into a pot of 320? What is that?
Suspicious?
I mean, Abarisk getting 10 to 1 on a call here, but he's just got ace high. 10 to 1 on a call.
Kroon has owned him recently. And I guess Nick feels he's beat. And he gives it up.
Trust me, Kroon would prefer to show another bluff.
Yeah, right. In front of his mentor, Mark trying to rebuild his stack once over 3 million, then down to 1.7 million, now up to almost 2.7 million. Elsewhere, an all-in and a call. Short stacked and standing on the left. Ofer Zvi Stern shoved with ace-9 of clubs. Got a call by the queens of New Yorker Carl DeVeglia III in seat 5 with glasses.
Stern under 20 big blinds. Easy call for DeVeglia.
DeVeglia with a bit more than a quarter of his stack in the middle. The flop, 8-7 jack. Stern didn't hit his ace, but the gut shot provides a little hope. Turn card is a tray. No help to Stern.
Stern needs an ace or a 10.
The river is a 10. Stern gets his straight to stay alive.
He just shrugs when he wins. Michael Jordan did that too. And when you hit a gut shot on the river, they let you sit back down.
DeVeglia is still up for the day of play, but that is a loss of $500,000. That'll sting. Stern began the day with about $1.7 million. That double up puts him back up to almost $1.2 million. From Israel to Italy, main event first-timer Federico Buonarroti is still hanging around, Norman.
He says he likes movies, but says it's more important who you're watching the movie with. Very wise.
With kings, he opened raised, and he was 3-bet by Justin Bonomo with pocket tens. And all in from Buonarroti. And a quick call. Bonomo in trouble against the Italian with kings.
Yeah, quick call from Justin. Buonarroti in great shape to double up to a very healthy stack.
What a great spot for Buonarroti against a big-time pro who's been backsliding lately.
That's a nice shirt for a double up.
All right, all-in player on his feet as sanctioned by World Series rules. 5-5 ace. Buonarroti still best. Bonomo with nearly 40% of his stack at risk.
Bonomo looks hopeless.
Turn card. Another race. Buonarroti one street from a double up.
Bonomo would need a 10 to knock out Federico Buonarroti.
A 5 chops the pot, but there is a 9, a full double up for Federico. Even with a monster, it's never easy to watch the cards fall.
Bonomo's still okay, knocked down to just under 60 big blinds.
But not a great day 5. Federico up to 2.4 million. Bonomo falls below 1.8 million. Buderoni, one bad run out from a trip back to Italy, but a safe board keeps him in the main event hunt. The 2015 World Series of Poker is presented by DraftKings. Play weekly fantasy football for free and win huge cash prizes. Get to DraftKings.com now. And in part by WSOP Social, the #1 play for fun poker game. Free download for your mobile device, tablet, or PC at playwsop.com. The stacks at the top keep getting bigger. 3 players over 5 million, including Pierre Nouvel, Hastings, and Steinberg in 4th and 5th place, respectively. Let's get back to our featured table, and what a lineup it is. On Fedor Holtz, 21-year-old. A couple of $1 million scores online, 8-7 of spades.
I wish he moved quicker, but I could watch Holtz at a poker table all day. What a fascinating, nuanced game he plays.
A raise to 90,000, part of his 2.8 million chip stack. Pocket fives for Jarvis.
Wish Jarvis would move quicker before 3-betting his pocket fives.
Oh, he folded the pocket fives. Good payouts now, 56,000. Neil Blumenfield now.
Blumenfield has agreed to give me his scarf when he busts. And Chris Horder has agreed to give me his hair when he busts.
Around to Pesh de Silva in the big blind. Ace King.
We're told de Silva lives in Katy, Texas. I don't think so. I've been to Katy, Texas many times, and I've never seen him. Hey, it isn't Holtz from Texas?
Chad Power is under the mistaken impression that Holtz was from Texas. But he was kidding. So De Silva now, after Holtz is raised to 90,000, repops it to 265 with his stack of 1.8 million.
Okay, you have 8-7 suited, and you've been 3-bet. Others see that as a problem. Fedor Holtz only sees solutions. Matt Jarvis, incidentally, on the cell phone there, checking his trailer park webcam to make sure no one walks away with an oversized load sign that isn't theirs.
Well, Fedor's not going anywhere. Heads up between 2 active players, would you say?
Active indeed.
All right, here is the flop. 8 Jack Ace, both get a piece. Top pair for De Silva, bottom pair for Holtz.
Trouble brewing at the OK Corral, Lon. Couple of sharpshooters eyeing each other.
And they both love it when they get a piece of the flop. That's just a bonus. They will bet anyway. De Silva took the lead pre-flop. And he continues here with the best hand, 345,000.
If Holtz puts De Silva, the pre-flop 3-better on big cards, it's really hard to continue here.
And you get an active player, and both of these guys know it because they are aggressive players. You don't always put them on big cards.
You know, I think Holtz might have taken some of Jarvis's chips while he's on the phone and is using them to make this call.
Pot of almost 1.3 million, a queen of hearts. De Silva adds a Broadway draw to his arsenal.
Yeah, De Silva, though, might be scared by that board now. I mean, he's got a good piece of it. Top pair, top kicker with a straight draw.
He checks this time.
Holtz might figure his best path to winning this pot is just to bet here and hope De Silva goes away.
Not unlike his thinking in any other hand. With bottom pair. Holtz calculating.
He's always calculating. I played heads up go fish with him for 4.5 hours last week.
425,000.
I don't think De Silva's going away, and a check raise is certainly in his arsenal.
He did not take any time to reach for chips. Those are calling chips. So the pot grows to over 2.1 million.
This is big boy poker, Lon. Of course, you and I left our big boy pants at Pilates class.
River card, 9 of diamonds, 3rd diamond out there. De Silva's hand is best.
Everything got there. A flush, a straight.
Another check from De Silva.
Of course, for Holtz, no flush, no straight, just very bottom pair. He can't win at showdown. Will he barrel this baby one more time?
All in.
And that would put De Silva all in. He's got the Katy, Texas resident covered by just about $1 million.
Yeah, this is for the rest of Pesh's stack. It is so hard to call off all your chips with one pair. This is a great bet by Fedor Holtz.
Yeah, the young kid, the two young kids going to war. I just wait.
It doesn't look like you need much to win this one, though.
No, you have
King
to.
and a 10.
This is a very, very scary board. There's 3 diamonds.
Yeah.
So someone could have 2 diamonds for a flush. Any 10 makes a straight.
Yeah.
And this guy might have like 3 of a kind or something. And the other guy could be bluffing. Who knows?
What would be the best hand here?
A flush.
Flush?
Say you had the king of diamonds and another diamond.
Yeah.
You'd have 5 diamonds. With the king, but neither of them have that.
That was my third cousin, actually my second cousin, Stuart Daniel was explaining stuff too.
Pesh had $3 million to start the day. He'd have only $765,000 to work with should he fold.
Ooh. Yeah, that would leave him with 19 big blinds if he lays this down.
Holtz loves to see him squirm.
What do you have? So confused.
Yeah, and if Pesh happens to be wrong here, it's his main event.
Negreanu back to the table. Pesh's lengthy thought process has given him plenty of time to give his poker tutorial on the rail.
Maybe I let you get there.
Maybe he's not there.
Robbie.
Daniel wants the floor director.
Clock.
And he has called a clock on Pesh.
You got 1 minute tacked on your hand.
Any player can call a clock, limiting the deciding player to 1 minute to act or his hand is dead.
He's been tanking a long time. It is for his tournament life.
He makes the call, and there's the double up.
Pair of 8s. Wow. Nice call, kid. All you needed was me to say clock.
What a spectacular call under pressure.
And he's paid off with 91 big blinds. Fedor cut down to just $1 million, 25 big blinds.
Very difficult call. You got chips over here,
It's
too.
like, what the hell do I even beat?
Nothing.
Fedor, though, that's all.
Yeah.
That is not a very good board for ace king.
I called it at 10 minutes. I didn't,
Oh, for sure. No, I was taking an absurd amount of time.
No, I mean, it was obviously your tournament life, but I waited for the 10-minute mark.
I wasn't slow roller. I mean.
No, obviously, you had 1 pair. I get it.
Probably the only hand up left that you beat.
One young gun puts the other to the ultimate test, and he passes.
If that last hand is any indication of how this main event will play out,
Robbie, clock.
We're in for a wild ride.
I was like, what the hell do I even beat?
Nothing.
Fedor, though, that's all.
Yeah.
Daniel Negreanu still marching towards the final table.
Okay, check. The crowd goes wild.
While a battle of the ages continues to emerge.
Hold down the applause.
For Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarron. The main event is heating up in Vegas.
It's the moment to start running good in all ins.